Wow. I made it. Wonderhussy here, coming to you from, well, where else but the middle of nowhere. And gosh, this time I really mean it. I'm in a extremely remote, but oddly green, central Nevada valley. And I just drove 76 miles to get to, what else? A hot spring. You know I'm just cuckoo for these natural hot springs, and well, I visited one earlier this afternoon that was pretty nice, and I considered camping near there, but I already had this place in the back of my mind, and I thought, oh man, I really want to get out there because it just sounds so desolate and awesome, and no one would bother me, and well, here I am, and it is desolate. It does look sort of awesome, pending. And well, I don't think anyone's gonna bother me. Okay, so I came in over that grassy knoll, which I'm gonna hike up in a bit and show you the sign up there because it's pretty cool. And well, I came down here to this flat area, and this is apparently the hot spring. That's, I guess, the source pool. And this, well, when I got here, it was just sort of like an empty pit. But I saw this valve on this pipe here, and I figured, oh, better turn that on and start filling her up. So boy, this is what a hot spring looks like when it's drained of water. It kind of brings to mind the old saying about how there's two things you don't want to watch being made: sausage and laws, I think. Well, apparently you don't want to watch a hot spring being filled either. I don't mean to be disparaging. I mean, it's just a black plastic tarp. A pit dug with a black plastic tarp laid in it, and then looks like there's rocks and stuff put down to hold the tarp down. And well, there is a lot of mud in it, but I'm guessing that's just, you know, wholesome natural hot spring clay. And this water here is real clean. Ooh, and it is hot, so I guess I'm glad I'm filling that up now. Hopefully it'll have a chance to cool down enough for me to soak in by the time it fills up. And then there's a pretty cute little deck here with a really nice little fire pit. And there's even a bag of campfire wood somebody left. That's pretty cool for being so friggin' far out in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty impressive. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine this hot spring sees very many visitors because, well, I actually came at it from the north near Battle Mountain, and it was, like I said, 76 miles. And most of it was actually a pretty good road. It was just like the last, oh gosh, maybe the last 10 miles got kind of weird because you had to go through this ranch, this private ranch, and there was a couple of gates you had to close behind you, and it said no trespassing, but it was also a through road, so it was just a weird situation. And then too, the road, even now in August, was kind of muddy and boggy at parts. And I was reading in my hot spring guidebook, Hot Springs and Hot Pools of the Southwest. I'll put a link in the description. It's a guidebook I use to find almost all my hot springs. Anyways, in that book, they say that you shouldn't even attempt coming here if it's been raining, even if you have four-wheel drive, because I guess that last portion there gets really boggy. And I believe it because some of the road, you know, it's dry now, but some of it was real rutted out. Anyway, I parked my rig over there, a discreet distance from the hot spring, in case randomly anyone does show up tonight, which I seriously doubt. But while I'm waiting for the pool to fill, I thought, let's take a little walk up here to the top of the knoll because I wanted to show you guys what it looks like up here. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we're standing on top of the knoll now, and you might be able to see way off yonder. That's the ranch I had to drive through, and then I took this dirt road all the way through this valley, up this beautiful grassy knoll. I mean, it's kind of like a hillock with bulrushes and reeds and sagebrush and grasses all over it. Just gorgeous in this spectacular valley. The sun's just going down behind those mountains. Gonna be a beautiful evening. There's the 2-track leading to the hot spring. And then, of course, this welcoming sign. Danger, 156-degree hot water. And let me tell you something. I believe it because before I started shooting, I did kind of, well, I didn't even really put my finger in the source pool. I just kind of put my hand over top of it, and you could feel like steam and serious heat coming off of it. And matter of fact, the water that even, you know, that I'm filling the little soaking tub with now, after it's run down through that pipe, it's still really hot. So I have a feeling it's going to be a while before I'm able to take a soak. I mean, this is pure Nevada. Look, it's all made out of rebar. How cool is that? Oh man, love it. Oh, and it is just beautiful out here right now. I was a little bit apprehensive. Not really apprehensive, but well, I was sort of steeling myself, let's just say, on the drive out here because it was in the 90s. Even at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., it was still like 90 degrees. I'm like, oh, yay. Okay, well, whatever, that's fine. It'll cool down after the sun goes down. I'll sleep fine. I'll just get up early and roll out. But man, once the sun dropped behind that mountain, it's already really nice. I think because all this grass and water, even though it's hot spring water, is helping to cool down this area anyways. This just feels great. It's gonna be a great night to get naked and soak under the stars. I mean, look at this friggin' spectacular valley. This is Nevada, y'all. My home state. I'm actually at the beginning of a 5-week solo road trip right now, sort of making my way up towards Washington State eventually. But I left my house in Vegas about 5 days ago, and every night since then, I've camped at a different, completely different and beautiful in its own way place. Like, Nevada has such an astonishing biodiversity. It blows my mind. Like, well, here I am in this beautiful grassy meadow, and then, oh gosh, one night I was in a sparse sagebrush flat with an amazing hot spring. Then another night I was up in a subalpine aspen forest. Then, oh gosh, last night I camped on top of a mountain. I mean, there's just so much beauty in the state of Nevada. I guess I should stop talking about it because now everyone's going to want to move here because we don't have any state income tax either. Anyway, enough waxing eloquent about my home state. Let's go back down to camp and check on the hot pool. Okay, got my camp sort of organized and I got my little thermometer. I thought it might be interesting to walk over to that source pool and see once and for all how accurate this thing is. Okay, wow, even from back here I can feel hot steam, and you might even be able to see it coming off of the water there. I don't know, but it's hot. Look at those bubbles coming out. That's coming straight from some volcano or some lava deposit below the earth. Yikers. Man, that is a bubbling. Yeah, you can see the steam wafting across the top too. Nuts. Okay, well, let's see what the old thermometer says. Woo! 148. 47. Oh, I guess it depends. Let's go right where the bubbles are coming out. 149. I don't see a 156 though. I want my money back. Still hot enough to do some serious damage, so I am not going anywhere near there. Although I was thinking about it, and when I cook my dinner tonight, I'm just gonna make those boil in the bag Indian meals. I could probably just put them in there to cook, you know what I mean? Now let's check the temperature of the pool I'm about to soak in. Now, the water is just coming straight from the source there through that black pipe. Or wait, no, not that black pipe. I guess there's a buried pipe, a white PVC pipe that the water's coming down. So it's only like, what, 20, 30 feet? So it's probably not going to be any cooler. Woo-wee, that is still much, much, much too hot to soak in. Now, interestingly, there's nowhere to drain this pool, but yet it was empty when I got here. So I'm guessing that you just kind of leave it filled and it kind of like evaporates or leaks. I mean, this tarp probably isn't completely watertight, let's just be honest. So I'm guessing it just kind of naturally drains between uses. And since it was totally dry when I got here, I'd say it's been a while since the last person came to soak. Although that firewood bag doesn't look that old. And on Google Maps, this place is actually listed on Google Maps, and it had 1 review, 5 stars. Some guy stayed here a year ago, and he said he had this tub all to himself, and the stars were amazing. And well, his review is what really sold me on coming to this place. So thank you, mystery reviewer. Okay, well, I guess what I'm gonna do while I'm waiting for the tub to fill is go ahead and put my dinner in that hot source pool to see if it'll cook it. So tonight on the menu we have Bengal lentils, protein, fiber, yummy, and brown rice with quinoa and more lentils, more protein, more fiber. I'm trying to be healthy here. Okay, let's see if I can just plop these in here. That looks about right. I think they're just gonna stay right there. You know what, maybe I'll put like a rock or something on it to hold it in place. Let me see if I can find something. Oh, here. There we go. Put that right there. Hold them in place. They're fully submerged in the hot water though. Or mostly submerged. So they should get... There we go. They should get hot enough to eat. Those things are pre-cooked anyway, so it's not like it, you know, it's a health issue. As long as it's warm, that'll be good enough. And it's so warm out here tonight that, gosh, I could probably just eat them cold and it'd be fine. Anyways, while I'm waiting for those to heat up, and, well, I guess I'll let this fill up a bit more and then shut it off and let it cool. I'm gonna go ahead and have a seat here in my little deck chair and enjoy a sunset cocktail. Okay, you know how I said I was trying to be healthy? Well, the buck stops here. I don't really have any excuse for why I'm drinking these horrible things. They're yummy. I somehow got addicted to them when I was staying in Chico earlier this summer, helping my friend with his knee surgery. And now, well, I try to just treat myself to one every now and then when I feel like I've really earned it. And this seems like a pretty good place to enjoy one. So cheers if you're drinking anything at home. Salud. Tastes like cough medicine. All right, getting some footage uploaded while I'm sitting here enjoying the last of the sunset. Starting to get pretty dark, unfortunately, which means my footage is gonna get pretty grainy. And it also, unfortunately, means there's mosquitoes in the desert, of all things. Typically, mosquitoes don't bother me too much, I guess because I have, well, bitter blood. So hopefully they don't bother me too much out here. I mean, I feel like I could sit out here forever right now. It's the perfect ambient temperature. And best of all, there's no one around. Well, unfortunately, the light's gonna be too low soon for me to really shoot much more footage. But you can probably see there is a star that's already come out, a planet, maybe that's Venus. I don't know, the evening star. And you can kind of see over towards the horizon here, the sunset. Oh, it's just beautiful behind those mountains. You can probably see there's a bunch of lights down below there too. I think that's actually a geothermal power plant. I don't blame them for harnessing the energy in this stuff. I mean, that friggin', you saw how hot that source pool was? I mean, that's like natural energy from the earth. No telling how much power that generates. It's pretty cool. Now, speaking of hot water, this little pool here is getting pretty full. And I feel like it's so hot, it's never gonna cool down enough for me to soak in if I don't just go ahead and shut her down. I don't know why I would want it to be any fuller than this anyways. Realistically, I don't know that I'll be able to get in. I might just sit in my floaty, so I guess I might as well quit while I'm ahead. Thank you for your service, Valve. All right, well, that pond is still about 145 degrees, so I'm just gonna sit here, finish uploading my footage, and wait a little bit longer before I try to get in. Still got a little bit of my bitch beer to drink. It's such a terrible name for these things. I've heard them called bitch brews or bitch beers. But I prefer the technical marketing term, which is malternative, because it's a malt-flavored malt beverage. It's an alternative to beer. Malternative. I don't know, I just never acquired a taste for beer. In fact, I really actively dislike the taste and smell of beer. It makes me want to vomit. And it's interesting because I grew up in Germany. And as a kid, well, you know, Germany's all about beer culture. All we did was go to beer fests. And all my dad and my uncle did was drink beer. And as a kid, sorry, mosquito just flew up my nose. As a kid, I loved to drink the foam off the top of their beers. But ugh, now just the smell of beer makes me want to hurl. So if I'm going to drink anything in a can, unfortunately, it's got to be one of these. Okay, well, let me just do one more check of the water temperature with my thing. It says it's 112, 113, 114. I'll take the 114. That's still too hot for me to soak in, so let me go check on my food. Maybe I'll eat dinner first, and then, well, if I can stick it out through all these mosquitoes, then I'll take a soak before I go to bed. Whew, these are hot. Wow, this worked great. It's warm. Pretty much as warm as it would be if I boiled it like I normally do. And this was a lot easier. Wow, this worked out great. I just sat in my chair, eating my dinner, and drinking my bitch beer until, well after dark. I finished eating. I washed my bowl and my spork. Kind of packed up what I could. And then, well, tested the waters. And by the time I had finished all that, woo-wee! It's still hot, but I got my floaty. Really, only my butt is in the water, and then my feet if I want to put them. And to be honest, it got kind of chilly once it got dark, so it feels amazing. And I have my headlamp on to create some kind of light so you can see my face, but without my headlamp, let me tell you, it's pitch dark. I wish I had a better camera so you could see what I'm seeing, because it's a lot of stars. This hot spring is all right. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, this kind of like muddy, drained, tarpy ditch, I went, gosh, I drove 80 miles out here for this. But once it got filled up, the stars came out. Woo-wee! It's tops in my book. Okay, well, I'm going to turn my, even though you won't be able to see anything, I'm going to turn my headlamp off for a minute just to give you a little idea of how dark it really is. I mean, this is amazing dark skies here. We are so friggin' far from any town. Remember, I said the last town I came to was Battle Mountain. You know what I mean? That's like, I don't even know what the population there is. A couple thousand, maybe, if that. So it's dark out here. And I'm getting sleepy. I've got a full belly from that delicious hot spring cooked Indian food. Now I've been in the hot water for a while. I'm feeling relaxed. I think I might just have to go to sleep soon. And that way, well, hopefully that way I can wake up early enough to maybe enjoy a morning soak. You know what I mean? The water will still be in here and it should be nice and cool in the morning. So that could be something to look forward to. So good night. See you in the morning. Good morning. Wow, what a great night. I mean, I didn't soak that late, probably, gosh, till like 9:30 or so, about a half hour after dark. And then I got in bed, and it was pretty warm out here at first, but I woke up at like 11:30, and it was chilly. I actually had to get under my blankets, you know. First, I was just laying there with like a little throw over me, but it actually got cold enough to where I needed all my blankets and my throw, so it was really cozy. And then when I woke up first thing this morning, I went over to check the temperature of the pool because I thought, oh, it'll probably be like just the right warmth to go for a little morning soak. But it was cold. It actually cooled down totally overnight, and it was like, gosh, I don't know, like cool cold. Not like an icy mountain stream cold, but cool, too cool to get in. So I turned on the valve and let it fill up all the way to the top, thinking, oh, the hot water will mix with the cool water, and that'll create just the right temperature for a morning soak. And so while that was filling up, I went ahead and took advantage of all the unlimited hot water to do some much-needed grooming, cleaning. I've been camping for, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, it's like my 6th day, so I really needed to wash my hair. And of course, just so you know, I did not wash my hair in the hot spring. That's terrible to do to the biology. I washed it in a bucket, if you must know. And actually not even a bucket. I used one of my plastic Rubbermaid bins that I store stuff in. Hey, it was the only thing I had that would hold water. But it worked. My hair is clean. I feel like a new person. I cleaned out my ears. After I get out of here, I'm going to put on deodorant and get all nice and clean smelling. I'm going to come out of this hot spring feeling really renewed. Uh-oh. My floaty busted. Unfortunately, I didn't have my camera rolling when it happened, but it was pretty funny. Well, I gotta go to Walmart later today anyways in Winnemucca, so I'll just have to pick up another one. Cheap Chinese crap. Oh well, I guess that's a sign that it's time to get out of the hot spring. Well, that and the jets I've heard flying overhead. The goddamn military industrial complex won't leave me alone even way out here in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's time to get on with my day anyways. I've got some really exciting adventures planned for today. Not least of which is going to Walmart in Winnemucca. Okay, I'm all packed up and ready to leave this awesome little hot spring. So I guess let me just give a few final notes on what my thoughts were about this super remote little soak in the middle of this gorgeous valley. Now, as far as the spring itself goes, it's piping friggin' hot, so you don't have to worry about that. Well, and that's kind of problematic because it's so friggin' hot that it takes a while to cool down. So if you do come here, you want to turn that valve on first thing, give the water a chance to cool down. Now, if you got here, this is the biggest downside to this spring that I can see. If you got here like right after somebody else had left and the pool was still full, because I don't know how long that would take to evaporate or soak into the earth, because there is a plastic tarp under it. So, I mean, after I leave, if somebody rolls in this afternoon, they're going to see that it's full of water. And it's kind of gross because there's no outlet anywhere. You know, like most hot springs that I've been to have like a flow through. Like there's water coming in from the source and then it's flowing out on the other end. Well, unfortunately, there's no outlet on this one. It's just evaporation, I guess. So if you get here and it's full of water, well, you're screwed on two fronts. One, the water's probably going to be cold, so I guess bring a bucket, bail it out, and refill it. And two, yeah, the water would probably be kind of funky and dirty, even if it's not cold, you know, from whoever else was soaking in it. And that, I guess, also applies to if you come with a group of friends and you all want to get in there. Well, first of all, it's pretty small, so you're all going to have to be pretty cozy. And you're going to be all swimming and stewing in each other's juices, so hey, be mindful of that. But I don't know, other than it being maybe slightly problematic because of the drainage, it's a friggin' beautiful hot spring. And if you're lucky enough to find it like I did, empty and deserted, oh my gosh, you can enjoy a friggin' fantastic soak under the most amazing starry sky ever. And then during the day, you got all these cows in the field for company. And then I guess one final thing you'd have to be mindful of is the weather. Well, it's hotter than blazes. I mean, it's only like 10 a.m. and it's already getting hot. It'll be in the 90s today, and there's zero shade here. So coming in the summertime can be a bit unpleasant, so I'd recommend bringing some shade. But coming in the wintertime, I don't think is really feasible because I'm sure that field I had to drive through is too boggy in the winter or even in the spring or anytime after it's rained a bunch, which I guess in this part of the country is probably winter, spring. So I guess I wouldn't really recommend coming here in winter or spring. I would recommend coming in summer. The only downside to that is it's hot and there's no shade. And well, I went to another hot spring in this sort of general area once in June, and it was infested with Mormon crickets, which is this big locust kind of bug. So, gosh, it would suck to drive all the way out here and find the place crawling with bugs. And it's not like you can check the bug forecast for that, I don't think. I'm not sure if there is a Mormon cricket forecast. But if you manage to avoid the bugs and avoid the mud and you come out here and are lucky like I was, well then by gum, it's a great little soak. Would I come back here again? Yes, I would. I'd come back with like one other person, like a friend, maybe two other people. A friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. But I don't think I'd come back again all alone. But who knows? Might get a wild hair up my butt one of these days, because it is so friggin' beautiful. But anyway, I gotta get it back in my rig, because I've got a lot of adventures on the docket for today. So I better get on the road. Catch you next Wednesday.